back, everybody, to Catching Up with Cassie J. I am here to give you guys another review. We're going to go ahead and jump into the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. This is Season 9, Episode 3, and it's titled, Oh Dear. I'm not in love with this title because this title does not make any sense to me, but we're just going to go ahead and get into the details and see how this all plays out. So the show starts back with the fight between Sierra and Carly at Sierra's, it was Bubbles and something party. Some party she just decided to throw because she was still free for now. And it just kind of wraps up the end of the party, the fight. Everybody's kind of leaving. And as I was watching this fight, it looked like Carly had on a wig that got pushed. But then when it showed her walking back over, it looked like her hair was just fine. Now, I know Sierra had on a wig because she snatched it off and mentioned that, hey, you know, my wig wasn't tacked down, so I did not come here to have no fight. Had I planned on fighting you, Carly, you know my wig would have been real secure, so you couldn't have snatched it. And that's a valid point. Usually when somebody comes to fight, if they're coming to fight you, they have their hair secure if they have on a wig, if they're going to have on a wig, or they won't have on a wig at all. I just don't feel like Sierra was coming to fight. She was coming to get drunk, as she mentioned, she was drunk. But nonetheless, fight broke out, fight is over. Everybody's moving, like everybody's leaving the party because they was like, y'all don't kill the vibe. Y'all don't mess up this nice little place that y'all don't have this event at. These people are going to charge you for the damages that you don't cause. I hope you took out, some insurance because you going to pay for this because I know y'all broke something when y'all was over there fighting. Insurance is very important, people, when you're doing an event and you got liquor. Now, after the party, Carly goes and talks to Rashida at Press. Press is a very nice place, you guys. If you're ever in the area and you're looking for some cute little clothes, you go in there and get you some items. You might even run into Rashida because she be in there working. She gets her coins. So while she's in there, Carly's basically telling Rashida how she feels, and she's letting her know that she felt that it was a setup on Sierra's part. She think that Sierra intended on her getting jumped. Rashida was like, I don't feel like that was the intentions behind that. Just feels like it was a situation gone wrong. I agree with that. I don't think that Sierra's intentions were for her to have a fight. It was just too much liquor. Sierra was in her feelings that her friend was not there for her when she needed her to be. I feel like Carly was in her feelings as well, that she feels like her friend is never there for her, as she has stated, and that as she's trying to express to her friend as they were talking, you're never there for me, and Sierra wasn't trying to hear that. And so therefore, it was just a clash, and that's what I feel happened. The problem was, it was Sierra's party, so it was her people there, and in those kind of situations, when you're out and you're in basically someone else's event or somebody else's territory, you have to be mindful of how you act, because usually if you pop off, their people are going to come to their defense, right or wrong, and that's what happened. Now, you had Sierra talking to Bambi as they were showing at the same time about the situation, and she was just like, she was so upset that it happened, but she wasn't necessarily just upset that the situation happened, that her and her friend got to that level. She was upset because it was rumors that Carly Red was now talking about pressing charges, and she did not need any more heat on her because of her current situation. Now, I understand that. The problem is, Sierra, you know that you are currently battling a legal situation. So with that being said, you should be more mindful of how you were moving. I know that if I am currently in some kind of trouble, more than likely I would just keep my ass at home until everything dies down, because I don't want to take any chances of getting into any more trouble if I know that I am the type of person that can pop off, will pop off, and also because I know the circle that I have around me. I know the events that I tend to go to, and I might be possibly put into a situation where I might have to react that way, or I might just choose to react that way. So unless you're willing to adjust these things and change these things around you, the circle you're with, the events you go to, your attitude, your behaviors, you might should just stay at home. But you didn't, and you chose to act like that. You can blame it on the alcohol, blame it on the goose, got me feeling loose, but that ain't the fault. You're not going to be able to go to court and say that. The court don't care nothing about you being drunk. You ain't going to be able to call up Jamie Foxx and be like, Jamie, your song got me in trouble. Jamie going to be like, girl, I don't know you. So, that was what it was. Rashida tried to talk Carly kind of out of going in that direction because she could tell how she was responding to her. She was like, I mean, you're not thinking about pressing no charges or nothing like that, are you? I mean, come on, like, this is your friend. And she was like, I mean, I gotta do what I gotta do. But she didn't really confirm that she was going to. So Rashida felt like maybe she talked her off the ledge. But we'll find out. So Mama D's plan for Scrappy's surprise birthday party went well. He was surprised. Him and Bambi came in. They both were surprised. So all the important people that she wanted there were there. They were having a good time. Now, while they were there, we did see Tokyo for the first time so far. And she was talking about that she had lost her virginity, because we know that Tokyo was holding it for, she said she wasn't waiting, for marriage. She was just waiting for the right time. So she talked about it briefly with the girls, and then we see that she was then talking because she kind of brought up, well, what's going on with your music? And she let them know who she was working with, because she is working on her new album. And she let them know that she's got new music coming out, people she was working with. And then she mentioned that she's working with Light Skin Keisha. And of course, Bambi had to let her know, yeah, I don't really rock with her. I don't really like her because, she messed with my homegirl's dude at the time that they was together. And now they're in this relationship, so I just don't trust a girl like that'll break girl code. Yeah, I understand what it is that she's saying, and I get it. No, you don't want to be around somebody that you feel has violated the quote-unquote girl code. If somebody's dating somebody and then you see them, oh girl, you over there flirting with somebody, man, like that's they man, like leave them alone. But it's like, how far do you go for your friend? At some point, you have to let things be your friend's problems and not yours. So also while they were at Scrappy's party, Bambi's mother showed up. When Bambi's mother showed up, before Bambi's mother showed up, Scrappy had confronted his mother about her drink in her cup, because it was a brown drink, and they were concerned that she was drinking liquor, that is, because she's not supposed to be drinking. And she's, they was like, hey mama, what's that in your cup? And she was like, it's cola. And I mean, I know it's hard to be in a situation where, you're trying to change and turn over a new leaf, and people are like hounding you and like watching over and hovering you, but she has to understand it's coming from a good place. Then it shows that Cece showed up to the party, which is Bambi's mother. Now, Mama D is not feeling her. she still has issues with her from way back when she gave her that Motel 6 key and left the light on for her. She still got that light on for her, and she was like, you need to go on back where you came from. Now, Karen King was there, Miss KK, and she was like, Mama Z, before you leave, I want you to go over there and just give Cece a hug before you leave. Mama Z said, I ain't doing that. I'm leaving. And it's just like, at some point, those two women are going to have to come together because they have kids that are married and grandkids. So they're going to have to come together at some time. But Mama D said, today ain't that day. Now, Sierra gets a call from her lawyer and says, I need to see you, like, immediately. Of course, this causes her to panic because she thinks the worst. And I understand that feeling because I'm that type of person. I think the worst before I think the better of a situation. Whenever somebody say I need to see you and something's going on, I'm already thinking, oh my God, who done died, girl? What's gonna happen to you, girl? You going to jail? It's just me, and it's something I have to work on. But that's where my mind normally goes. So she calls Rashida and tells Rashida, can you come over to the glam shop? My lawyer needs to see me. I need some support. And plus she knew that she had that fight with Carly. So she thought, oh my God, is this what this is about? Is it about my current case? Or do I have a new case coming up too now? But the lawyer came with good news. The lawyer came with the footage that she had been waiting for, showing the funeral and showing that she was nowhere near Shooter's baby mama. So there was no altercation. It was all a lie, like she had been saying. So this was the evidence they needed to exonerate her, and she can get her freedom and she can go on with her life. So she was crying tears of relief, and that was what she needed. So now that she was able to move on from this current case, she knew then that she had to make amends with Carly, not just because she now has her freedom from the situation, but because she know that she messed up. And yeah, you know, looking at it, playing devil's advocate, it's like, girl, you was doing that because you knew that if you don't do this, you're going to be right back in this seat and your lawyer going to have to fight. And your lawyer was already there, so she's seen what happened, so it's going to be a little bit hard of a case to fight. Now, there was a nice scene in this episode that I was happy to see, and it was with Stevie and Mimi. I'm very happy to see that Stevie and Mimi are in the place that they are in, because they have had a very rocky relationship. So it's great to see that them get to the point now where they're co-parenting so efficiently, and they're friends at this point. And Mimi came to talk to Stevie, and she was telling him that he had been sending her some messages that were a little concerning because he is married now. And she was like, it wasn't necessarily, you know, any kind of sexual message or anything like that, but it was just, if she was married, she would feel some kind of way if her partner was sending messages to an ex like this. And he was just saying stuff like, oh, I miss my family. I miss being with you guys. And to me, when she said it was a message that he was sending, I was like, Mimi, are you taking this kind of out of context? Maybe he just means like, because at the time he might have been in LA a lot, and he was just saying he misses being in Atlanta. Maybe that's what he meant. Who's to say? But I was like, maybe that's just what it was. It was just something as innocent as that. Like, I just miss being around you guys. And that's what he was saying. He was like, I just miss my friend. So as they're talking, the marriage conversation comes up for Mimi. And Mimi was telling him that because she's been through so much with the abandonment issues from the issues with her mom, and just in general, everybody always leaves her in her relationships. She was like, she doesn't want to get married. She doesn't feel marriage is in her cards. At that moment, Stevie apologized to her. He gave her a genuine apology and was like, I apologize for the role that I played in your abandonment issues that you are currently still suffering through. And you could tell that he really meant it. It wasn't like, on some creep stuff, like I'm just saying this to you just so I can get in your good graces to get something else out of it. It was, I really genuinely mean this. Like, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. And Mimi cried, and I think that it was something that she had been wanting and waiting for a very long time. So I was happy for that. That was a good scene. That was a good thing for them. Now, Jock has decided to open a new club called South Beach. Jock stay opening up businesses. I mean, he don't open up the hair salon. I feel like he had another bar before. So he keeps opening up businesses. He stay working now. He don't say that. He stay with a job. He stay with some income. But you know, when you got all them kids, you need income. Now, for the opening, he decided that he wanted to bring Shekinah and light-skinned Keisha and her boo to taste the food. Now, Shekinah is trying to be a peacemaker. Shekinah goes and invites Scrappy and Bambi because she wants to find out if they can resolve their issues, because Scrappy and light-skinned Keisha had worked together before. And they feel that, well, she feels that Bambi is the center of the reason why they can't do work together now. And that is understandable, because now Bambi and Scrappy are married, and you know, happy wife, happy life. He does not want to go against his wife. His wife is not rocking with you, so he's like, I can't rock with you. But of course, when they come in, Bambi has this FU energy when she comes to the door and sees her before they even exchange words. So once they get there and they're across from each other, Shekinah's like, so listen, we're all grown here. Let's have a conversation. What is the tension between you guys, and how can we move past this? How can we resolve this? Baby's just kind of like, I don't want to talk to this hood squirrel. I don't have nothing for her. And light skinned Keisha was like, and the same for her. Like, I don't want to mess with her either. I don't want to rock with her either. She's just jealous. She's a hating ass hoe. And it just goes left like immediately. There's no conversation. There's no resolve. And again, I understand where Bambi was coming from. You was looking out for you're riding for your girl. But it's like, if your man's job is to make music, and if that music is gonna bring in a check, I guess my thing is, yes, all money is not good money and all that. If you feel that threatened or bothered by her, then I guess I'll be in a studio session. But if it's gonna be a hit, if it's gonna be something that's gonna bring income, I guess it just gets to the point, like, where do you draw the line? Are you willing to ride that hard for your friend where it's going to cost you money for your household, where it could potentially interfere with your husband's career? That's what I'm saying. At some point, you just have to make a decision. You might have to tell your friend, listen, friend, I know what happened back then. It was not right. And I'm still rocking with you. I'm not going to be friends with that girl. I'm not trying to, hang out with her. But, Scrappy's business is just that. It's business. And they're doing some music together. And it's just that it's about the bag. Me and her not going out having tea. We not going out doing lunch. But he is doing business with her. And that's just what it is. So if you need to keep him in line, to keep him focused on you and your family. If you were having any insecurities about your relationship, that's something in itself. But if you are very secure in yourself and your relationship, then you shouldn't be worried about her trying to take your man. But if he's doing something to secure a bag for your household, you have to tell your friend that, listen, he's securing money for us. And I can't let what happened between y'all two interfere with the money that's coming in to this household. And that's how I feel about that part of it. Now, as far as you two hanging out, I mean, you can tell her I don't have nothing to do with her. We can just, this is why I don't like you. And that's just that. We ain't got to be disrespectful. Just leave it at that. Now, Sierra invites Carly to church. So it's Carly, Sierra, Rashida, and Spice. After church, they're all outside. And they basically told, Rashida said, if this is a friendship we're fighting for, then you fight for your friendship. Y'all should have a conversation and see where it goes. So Spice and Rashida walk off and they leave them two left to talk. So as Carly and Sierra are talking, Carly lets her know, I feel set up. And she said, do you know why I feel set up? And she was like, no. She was like, because your assistant was there. She put her hands on me, and not once did I see you try to stop her, interfere, or anything. So Sierra told her what everybody else had been saying. I did not set you up. Why would you think that I would even set you up? And she, in my opinion, the apology Sierra gave her was somewhat sincere, but it was also kind of like a, bitch, I don't have time to get no more charges. I just got free of this charge. Stop. Like attitude. It was like, come on now. Girl, you know, I mean, you running off with the mouth. You know people be wanting to pop you in the mouth. So it was kind of like, you kind of deserve what you got type apology. But we and you was friends, so come on. It wasn't that serious. Like, you didn't get no bruises. Like, no, nothing happened. You didn't get no broke bones. So, come on. But it's like, you should have had more of a genuineness in your apology. It should have been more like, listen, I'm terribly sorry about that. But then she started to cry, which tried to make it more genuine when she cried. Just, listen, I'm sorry. We have been friends way too long. I heard what you said about me not being there for you, and I apologize for not being there for you. And going forward, I want to try to be a better friend to you and move forward and be there for you like I feel that you have been there for me. Acknowledge what she had said to you before. That is how you get your friend to not press charges. Don't just say, well, I'm sorry about the fight. I mean, we gotta just get over it. No, girl. Yeah, that's how I felt like that would have been better if she would have said that. But as she cried and told her, you know, we have been friends and I just hope that you in time will forgive me. Carly tried to be Billy Badass and was like, my friend Karma is a bitch and she gonna get you. And she was like, I mean, well, that's how you feel after I don't cry and ruin my makeup. Then, oh, so be it. If you're going to be on some petty, revengeful stuff, ain't nothing I can do about it. But Carly was just hurt that her friendship with her got to that point where they would put hands on each other. I think that in time, they will eventually move past it. Will their friendship ever be the same? No, because I just don't think that. I know for me personally, I could not be the same with a friend if we ever got to that point where we physically put hands on each other. But I think that they will be able to have some type of relationship. It just won't ever be the same. So overall, I think this episode was a pretty good episode. I'm looking forward to seeing how it continues to develop. And I'm going to leave this one here and I'm going to get into this Love and Hip Hop Miami because that reunion was great. So stay tuned, you guys. See you in a minute.